Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're gonna be looking at some expressions, some really common English expressions, and we use them all the time, but I bet you'd be surprised with some of the stuff we're gonna uncover about where these expressions come from and what they really mean.
Yeah, it's amazing how many of these phrases we just kind of throw around without really thinking about it. We'll be unpacking their meanings and tracing their origins, all that good stuff. By the end of this, you'll sound like a linguistic pro.
Perfect. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first one I'm really curious about is come up with. I feel like I use this phrase constantly, but I never really stop to think about what it actually means.
Right, right. Come up with, it seems simple enough on the surface, but it's got some hidden depths. I mean, think about how often we use it. We come up with ideas, solutions, you name it. It's all about that moment when something new is created.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you so far. But what makes it so interesting? I mean, it just seems like a pretty straightforward phrase.
Well, let's break it down for a sec. The word come, it implies some sort of journey, right? Like you're moving towards
Oh,
something.
I see what you mean. Okay.
And then up with. That suggests effort. Like you're bringing something hidden into view.
Yeah.
It's not passive, it's active creation.
That's a really cool way to think about it. I never would have thought of it like that.
And the way we use the phrase often reflects that struggle. Like we say, she came up with a brilliant strategy. We emphasize the effort that went into that aha moment.
So it's not just about having the idea, it's about the entire process of making it real. Wow, I love that. It's like come up with captures this whole creative struggle in just those three little words.
Exactly. And speaking of journeys, how about we move on to an idiom that's, well, it's traveled through time itself. Take it with a grain of salt.
Wait, take it with a grain of salt goes all the way back in time. Okay, now I gotta hear this. Where on earth did that come from?
Get this. It all started back in ancient Rome. Pliny the Elder, he was a Roman scholar, and he wrote about taking something poisonous with a pinch of salt to make it less effective.
No way! Are you serious? So they were literally skeptical of the poison. That's amazing.
Exactly. It's like they were saying, I'm not so sure about this, but I mean, I'm open to the possibility. Fast forward to today, and we use it in a very similar way.
Yeah, yeah. Like when someone tells you they saw a UFO, but I don't know, you're not quite ready to rewrite all the science books just yet.
Exactly. Or think about it this way. Imagine your coworker starts a rumor about layoffs. You might, take it with a grain of salt until you get official confirmation, especially in today's world, right? I mean, we're bombarded with information all the time. You really got to be careful what you believe.
It's really incredible when you think about it, right? Like we use these expressions every single day and we rarely stop to think about where they came from or what they really signify.
Oh, absolutely. Language it's full of these little treasures just waiting, waiting to be discovered.
Speaking of treasures, or maybe more like guilty pleasures, the next expression on our list is all about those modern habits. It's binge watch.
Yes. Binge watch. Now there's a perfect example of how language adapts, how it evolves to reflect our changing world. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that you've experienced a binge watch or two yourself, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Who hasn't these days? But seriously, what makes binge watch so, I don't know, so fascinating from a language point of view?
Well, think about it. It's such a visual word, isn't it? Like you can practically picture someone, glued to their screen, completely engrossed in another world. It's not just watching TV. It's about that immersive, almost obsessive way we experience our favorite shows nowadays.
Totally. Binge watch, it definitely has that sense of, I don't know, enjoyable excess built right in, doesn't it? Like you're saying, I'm not just watching one episode, I'm diving headfirst into this whole season.
Precisely. And it's that intensity, that commitment to the story that really sets it apart from just watching a few episodes in a row.
It's really amazing how quickly language changes,
Yeah.
to reflect those habits. But speaking of change, why don't we shift gears a little bit, move away from the world of streaming and talk about something a little more refined, maybe.
Ooh, intriguing. What did you have in mind?
Let's talk about the word eloquent. That ability someone has to express themselves with such grace and precision that you can't help but listen.
Ah, eloquence. Now, there's a word that just oozes sophistication and skill. It's about using language with mastery, right?
Yes.
Not just to communicate information, but to inspire, to persuade, maybe even to move people to action.
It really is like, the difference between like a quickly scribbled note, like you're in a hurry or something, versus, one of those really elegant letters that people used to write back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Eloquence, it's like it takes communication and it turns it into this art form.
Right.
Like, think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech,
Hmm.
or Maya Angelou's poetry, right? I mean, that's eloquence in action. It's about finding the perfect words at the perfect time and using them to really create an impact. You
Yeah.
know?
And it makes you realize that anyone can be eloquent in their own way. It
Right.
doesn't matter if you're, a world leader or just writing an email to a friend. There's always room to improve, to find the right words, the words that really resonate and inspire.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's not even about sounding, like super intelligent or anything like that. Eloquence is at its core, it's about connecting with people, about sharing your message with passion and clarity. It's about finding those words that bridge the gap between, what you're thinking and what your listener understands.
So basically what you're saying is by really understanding these expressions, these phrases, where they come from, what they really mean, all of us, we can be more eloquent in how we speak, how we write, right?
Exactly. Every single expression we've talked about today,
Yeah.
right? From come up with and that whole journey of creation to take it with a grain of salt and that cautious wisdom, even binge watch and how it reflects, who we are today. And of course, eloquent itself. It all points back to the art of language. And by understanding how these expressions work, I mean, really understanding them, we can be more aware of how we use English ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we do that, our communication becomes richer. Our words have more and more power.
It's like we opened up this, I don't know, secret vault of language or something, and now we have all these tools, all these treasures we can use in our own life. So next time you're about to use one of these common expressions, just take a second, really think about it. Think about its hidden depths, where it came from. You might just surprise yourself with how eloquent you already are.